this spring. Only one hero can save her family and prevent disaster.
Mom, we're gonna be late for school!
I don't think so.
Whoa.
Experience the phenomenon that critics are calling inspiring.
Mom, I can't find number 17!
Come on, Billy! Dig deep!
A lot of fun. And pure genius.
Mom, where's my phone?
Table.
Keys.
Mudroom.
Dragon Man?
Under the couch between the monkey and the flip-flop.
How does she do that?
Created by God to demonstrate his love with grace, elegance, and poise. She is Mom.
Hey, honey, have you seen my butane torch?
She is Mom. Amen? And so if you're a mom in the room, would you stand up this morning so we can recognize you? Go ahead and stand up. If you're a mom, we owe you our lives, because obviously without moms, we would none of us be here this morning. And so look around at these moms and give them a round of applause. And y'all sit down, but keep your hand up in the air. Some of our teenagers are going to come and bring you guys some gifts this morning. Some of our teenagers are going to come and bring you a gift this morning. There they go. They're coming. They're coming. And so put your hand up. These are just a small token of our appreciation. Everybody needs more nail stuff, right? Amen. So these are emergency nail kits. And so, men, if there's any left, we'll give you one as well. But we celebrate moms this morning because moms, listen, what moms do, it's not just a temporary condition being a mom, right? Being a mom is a calling, right? God has called you for this specific moment in time to raise these kids and to, and raising kids never ends, right? Raising kids keeps going because, yeah, sure they get older and sure they graduate high school and sure they move on in life, but you're still their mom, amen? Amen? Some of you are like, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. No, you're still their mom, and so we know that being a mom is an absolute calling, and this is why Mother's Day has a very special place in our hearts. And let me just highlight for you this morning through a story why being a mom is a calling and not just something that you just do every once in a while. It goes like this. It talks about a mom and a dad who were watching TV when mom said, listen, I'm tired. It's getting late. I think I'm going to go to bed. And this is probably going to be a lot of our houses here, right? So she went to the kitchen. She said she's going to bed. She went to the kitchen to make sandwiches for the next day's lunches. She rinsed out the popcorn bowls, took meat out of the freezer for the supper following evening. She checked the cereal box level. She filled the sugar container. She put spoons and bowls on the table and started the coffee pot for brewing the next morning. She then put some wet clothes in the dryer, put a load of clothes in the washer, ironed a shirt, secured a loose button. She picked up the game pieces left on the table. She put the telephone book back in the drawer. She watered the plant. She emptied a wastebasket. She hung up a towel to dry. She yawned and stretched, and then she headed finally for the bedroom. She stopped by the desk, wrote a note to the teacher. She counted out some cash for the field trip. She pulled a textbook out from hiding underneath the chair. She signed a birthday card for a friend. She addressed it and stamped the envelope, and she wrote a quick note for the grocery store. She put both of those notes near her purse. Then Dad calls out and says, I thought you were going to bed. She says, I'm on my way. She put some water into the dog's dish. She put the cat outside, then made sure the doors were locked. She looked at each of the kids and turned out their bedside lamps, hung up a shirt, threw some dirty socks into the hamper, and then had a brief conversation with one of the children up still doing homework. And then in the bedroom, she set the alarm. She laid out clothing for the next day. She straightened up the shoe rack, and then she said her prayers. And about that time, Dad turned off the TV and announced, I'm going to bed. And guess what he did? He went to bed. Right? And so, Mom, listen, you guys, it is a calling. You do so much. So we don't see, or that we do see, that a lot of times we end up taking for granted. It's like the physics teacher. The physics teacher was teaching these students about magnets, right? And so one day he would say, this is what magnets do, this is what they are, blah, blah, blah. And the next day he begins to recap his lesson from the previous day. And he says, hey, my name begins with an M and has 6 letters, and I pick things up. What am I? And they all said, my mother. Right? That's kind of what it is, Mom. It's actual calling. And so husbands, kiddos this morning, whatever, hey, spoil your moms today. This is the day that Mom gets to be the queen of the castle. Just absolutely spoiled today. Maybe you heard the story about the guy the rich guy that had a lot of wool money. And he liked to buy his mom big extravagant gifts every Mother's Day. He always tried to be bigger and better the next year than he was the last year. And one year he bought her like hang gliding lessons. The next year he bought her favorite record collection, like the entire record collection for her. But he determined that this year was going to be the year that outdid all the rest of the years. And he had heard about this bird that he could buy. And this bird was very, very special bird, very, very uncommon bird. This bird could speak really, really well. And not only could he speak really well, but he could speak 5 languages really, really well. And he could also sing the Yellow Rose of Texas standing on one leg. I mean, this was a super talented bird. The only problem with this bird is that this bird cost about $10,000. Yeah, and so he really loved his mom. So he went ahead and he bought that bird. He had it sent to her, and he decided to call her back the next day. And he said, "Hey, Mom, just checking in with you, just seeing if you got your Mother's Day gift, and what did you think about the bird?" And Mom, without missing a beat, said, "Man, it was delicious." And so spoil your moms today. Take them somewhere, maybe not for bird, but maybe some chicken, right? And spoil her because they deserve to get whatever we can offer up to them today, because they do so much for us, and they continue to do so much for us. And so if you have your Bibles, go to Mark chapter 7 with me this morning. Mark chapter 7, we're going to look at verses 24 through 30. It's a story that you may have heard at some point in your life. And we titled this morning's message, "Thanks for Not Running Away." Amen? Moms, we really thank you for not running away, because I know there are times and moments when you wake up in the morning and you're like, it could be a lot, you can just leave it right there. And so we thank you this morning from the bottom of our hearts. What you're going to see is a lady here that didn't run away, but actually ran towards Jesus for her child. And so Mark chapter 7, verses 24 through 30, this is what it says. And it says, "And from there, he